I like what Shane said here because what Shane said here was something that is so, once you're part of, if you want to be able to use a device, you have to understand what it's for, right? Why do you want it? Why do you use something, right? Why does people have the difference between a slab phone versus a foldable phone, or a laptop and a tablet or an iPad, right? Why have all these different things? A PC versus a game console, and just like it can go on and on. And it's because it's done for different reasons, right? For multiple reasons. Some is three in one. I know people that don't have a TV, but they have a PC and they watch everything on their PC. And I know other people that they love playing on game consoles. And there's some that just love using a smart TV and using different things to connect to it. And they love using it off their monitor, right? Or not their monitor, but their TV as a monitor. And so this is one of the points with here. It's like you look at this, and this is a trifold. It's already out. And then the Z Fold 7, where they're coming out with the Z Fold 8 wide and the Z Fold 8, which will look similar to this. And the Z Fold 8 will be shorter, but at least an inch or a quarter of, maybe even a half an inch wider when it's opened. So you look at this and you might say the same thing, which I'll play it in a second, but the same thing what Shane says is, well, you have this thing where you're thinking, what is a Z Fold 7? It's not to watch videos in a bigger, 10-inch display. This is an 8-inch. It's not for that reason. It's not to use up the entire screen. And even the companies, you'll see them, like Apple's going to come out with them. Of course, Microsoft and Pixel for Google, and Samsung for the Galaxy line. It's that these phones are used for multitasking. In their interview, 2018, somewhere almost 8 generations later, will be pretty soon, at the middle of this year, they did this for a reason, right? What form of content do you use, right? On mobile devices, which you would see that, right? The operating systems versus something what you would use on your laptop, right? On your TV, on different monitors, is that when you're using the platform, right, on mobile, it's more designed for vertical usage. And so the most obvious thing for people that are non-users of foldable is they don't understand that this isn't for just to watch movies or just to watch, YouTube videos or whatever it is, to be watching it. Oh, well, it's a big screen. If it's not big and I could just rotate my phone, then what's the point, right? If I can just have my phone and then rotate it in landscape mode, it's about the same size, but this is actually a little bit bigger. And you could say, and so when you're on the other side and you actually know the reason you want a foldable phone, it's especially like this, is because you want to take advantage of the 8-inch screen, right? For multitasking. And to have it split where you can use one app here, so you could be watching social media, or you can even split it this way, where you have this image on top and then the other half of it on the bottom here would be another app, right? Or you're doing something, either, calculations, or you're doing something for internet browsing for something and you're still wanting the video to play, or you get a text message or a social media thing and you want to check that, but you still want to watch the video, but you still want to go back, or you found something and you want to pause the video, but you don't want to exit out of something and do the whole thing where there's like a little mini screen here. You can do that, but on this, it's going to be a lot bigger. But if you're doing it like this, you could just be able to see enough information and do what you need to do that while it's still playing, or you can pause it, but you don't have to sign in and out. And you can just and it's just for multitasking, right? To be efficient in it. And it's going to take a while. It's one of those things that most people will jump into this instead of just using it the way you would be using it, would be have the same size here, but have it in a dual screen, right? And just have this up here, which would be the same size, and then do whatever and you can actually adjust it. So if you wanted it to be a little bit bigger, I would say maybe I want to say about a 3.1 inch. You could probably adjust it down here and then do whatever you need to do on the bottom half. And it takes a while. Don't get me wrong, it takes a while. If you've been using all your life, 10, 20, 30, 50 years, and you've been using just a regular slab phone or even a flip phone, it's going to take a while because it's just the same thing. Once you open it up, it takes a while to understand how to use this as a multitasking tool. And it's the same thing with this. Like the videos that Shane's showing here is the same videos that I've seen or have seen people, customers and people that are the users of these. They always do that for some reason. They treat it like this 8-inch screen. They treat it like it's a regular slab phone, and that's not what it's designed for multitasking. And they could easily don't have to sign in and have this little square here, but obviously it's bigger on this phone, and they're using it like that, which that's completely why it's able to have dual split screens on top and bottom, left to right, and you see this trifold here, and that's what we're talking about now. Do you even know how to use the foldables right? And especially with the Fold 8 wide and the Apple Fold coming out, it's going to be shorter, but in wider. And I think that's going to make a difference. And I think even before, like the Google Pixel 2023, the first generation, it should have stayed that way. And all it should have done is just gotten wider. Even if it was a quarter, or I'd say a quarter inch wider, or even a little bit taller and keep the same dimensions of the 2023, we would have been able to stay with a design that everybody wanted. But, they switched because they saw what the other one's doing, and like OnePlus, and then there's also the Microsoft as well. They started off like that, quickly adapted to more of, I wouldn't even say slab phone. It's more thinner, so like more narrow candy bar style, which I don't know why you would have variations of that instead of just keeping a variation of what you have, right? So when you compare, it's about a 50-50 split. When you compare just a regular phone like the Pro versus the Pro Max, which are bigger, the same thing with Google and Google XL, and the same thing with the Ultra, or the 25 and then the 25 Ultras. Those are pretty much split. Some people will say 40-60. I just say 50-50 because it's split on what you like to use. And so on foldables right now, they don't really have a wide category, right? Like they don't have anything that's all narrow. And 3.25, and we're talking about the screen itself, because I know the Google Pixel is 3 inches, but the screen itself is about 2.69, 6-7 inches, because of the larger bezels, the larger frame around it. We're just talking about the screen, and I'll play it right here.
Demonstrations that people still don't really understand that if you rotate the Z Fold 7, you do get a slightly larger 16.
Oh yeah, that's one thing right there. Yeah, that's the thing right there also. Is the last comment is, yeah, I don't know why people don't understand this, is that if you have it in this form, which is about 6.2 inches and about 5.6 inches wide, all they have to do really is just put this in landscape mode. So just rotate this phone, just drop the top end down sideways, and once you just rotate the phone, this image will actually start to go wide, which is longer for viewing like this. And so it kind of eliminates more of the factor of the issues that you guys are even talking about, which it doesn't make any sense really, because how would you not know? Like the same thing you would do with your phone, and then you put it in landscape, same thing you could do with this, and it'd be a much larger, anywhere between a quarter to a half inch larger. And then you can also pinch to zoom it and take up the entire screen. So, that doesn't make any sense why they would comment on that. And a lot of them do that. And I just don't know, maybe they don't understand that the width isn't supposed to take up the whole entire 8 inches. It can if you needed to, but the purpose and the reason you intend to buy this phone, this type of foldable phone, is for multitasking though. To have two or even three different things, or even four, just able to look and do things that you need to do on a regular basis when you need to open it up.